Before I start the video, I want to give a very special thank you to the channel's biggest fans, Heather and Tanya, for sticking around since the channel's inception. Thank you to my new subscribers, and thank you to Moo, who sometimes collaborates with me to bring you fun and original spooky stories. This is video 100, and hopefully you'll be around for 100 more. I woke up with someone else's memories. At first they came in flashes. Images of places I'd never been, people I'd never met, deaths I'd never suffered. But they felt real. Too real. The doctor said it was trauma from my accident, that the headaches, the confusion, the dreams, they were all part of recovery. But then I met a man with my face, and he told me I was number 100. They told me my name was Andrew Locke, that I was 28, born in Trenton, New Jersey, college dropout, no family. They said I had been in a car accident, a bad one, that the confusion, the flashes of strange memories and the headaches were all the result of trauma. But the way the doctor said confusion made me suspicious. It wasn't sympathy. It was fatigue, as if he had delivered this speech 100 times before. At first I accepted it. What else could I do? The walls were white and padded. The nurses were kind. The meals came on time. I had nowhere else to go, nowhere to return to. But the dreams kept coming. I dreamt I was drowning in glass. Not water, glass. Shards filling my throat, my lungs, my eyes. And I dreamt of metal corridors stretching forever, red lights flashing above me, and something screaming in the dark. One morning I woke up screaming with blood under my fingernails. My own, they told me. I had torn at my scalp in my sleep, but I remembered clawing at someone else's face. That's when I began to listen, to observe. There were others like me. At first, I thought they were just fellow patients. But one man, Carter, had the exact same mole on his left shoulder that I had. I noticed it during a group therapy session when he scratched himself and rolled up his sleeve. I laughed out loud. Couldn't help it. A loud, manic laugh that sent the whole room into stillness. The counselor asked what was so funny. I told him Carter and I must be long-lost twins. He didn't laugh. No one did. That night, Carter disappeared. The day after, I was relocated to a new wing, Ward 4B. It was quieter there, sterile. The air smelled of antiseptic and something underneath, something rotten and sour, like meat left in the sun. My new roommate didn't talk, not much. He stared out the window all day, mumbling to himself. But one night, he turned to me, eyes bloodshot, whispering just one word. 96. What? I asked. He stared at me, jaw trembling. That's me. I'm number 96. I laughed again, nervous this time. Like a patient number? He shook his head violently. They don't give us names. They give us numbers. You don't remember because you're not supposed to. None of us are. But the memories, they leak. He tapped his temple. They leak. I waited for more, but he rolled over and went to sleep. I didn't. I couldn't. The next morning he was gone, and this time they didn't even try to hide it. His bed was stripped clean. No explanation. Just silence. I found a paperclip under the dresser that day. I pocketed it and waited. That night, when the lights dimmed and the hallway cameras swept their usual rotation, I got to work on the door lock. It was surprisingly easy, too easy, like someone wanted me to escape. I crept through the corridor, barefoot and cold, past rooms where muffled cries and whispers echoed behind locked doors, past nurses' stations with blinking monitors and grainy footage of other patients, some pacing in circles, some slamming their heads into walls. Then I found it. A stairwell, the kind that looked older than the rest of the facility, rusted steps, cracked paint, no cameras. I descended into blackness, and when I reached the bottom, I saw it. A long hallway with steel doors on either side. Each door had a single number etched into a black plaque. 81, 82, 83. The numbers continued. I walked, heart pounding, until I found it, Nuravdu. My door. There was a panel beside it, fingerprint scanner. I pressed my hand against it on a whim. It blinked green. The door hissed open. Inside was a small room, brightly lit. A single chair, a small table, and a mirror. A large mirror, one of those observation kinds. And on the table was a file. Project 100, subject Andrew Locke. My hands trembled as I opened it. Date of activation, March 4th, 2025. Serial identifier, C100 genetic seed, Dr. Walter Griggs, deceased. Objective, cognitive retention and memory fusion in cloned subject 100. Monitor for anomalies, psychotic breaks, and identity regression. Notes. Subject 100 displays higher than average emotional adaptability, increasing leak-through of prior clone trauma observed. Full cognitive memory rejection protocol failed. Recommend termination and memory reset. The page slipped from my hands. Clone. I stumbled backward, staring into the mirror. My reflection looked the same, but suddenly it was unfamiliar. Artificial, manufactured. And I remembered. Not just my memories, but the others. The first clone who died screaming from cellular collapse. The 10th who broke through a second-story window. The 47th who stabbed a nurse with a pen and gouged out her eyes before security ended him. I remembered all of them, because they were me, and I was them. 100 failures, 100 deaths, each of us trying to claw our way toward individuality, toward purpose, toward freedom, and I was the last, the final attempt. Subject 100, I whispered, touching the mirror. That's when the alarm began to blare. Red lights, screaming sirens, footsteps. I ran, back through the corridor, up the stairwell, down another hallway. Doors slammed shut around me. Security doors hissed and sealed. But someone was helping me, opening the next door just before the last one locked. And then, freedom. An exit. A cold wind hit me like a slap. I was outside. I ran through trees, barbed fences, over mud and stone. The forest felt endless. My lungs screamed, my legs burned. But I didn't stop. I'm writing this now from a motel 2 states away. I hacked into a terminal at a gas station to send this message. But I don't know how long I have before they find me, because they always find us. Project 100 wasn't about cloning one man. It was about creating the perfect version of him, a man who could think like 10 people at once, who could survive impossible trauma, who could be programmed, molded, and, if needed, wiped. But I remember now. All of them. I remember how it feels to die, over and over and over again. I won't go back. I won't be reset. They want perfection, then they'll get it. Because this time the experiment remembers. And I'm not the one being tested anymore.